Silicon Valley entrepreneur and investor Balaji Srinivasan is openly advocating for ethnic cleansing. At least that is what he is literally calling it. Now, in a podcast interview last year, he explained his plan for what he considers a utopian San Francisco. And in this future city, there are three specific groups of people that he has identified. The Reds are Republicans, of course. Srinivasan is totally fine with them. The Blues are Democrats. Srinivasan does not like them, okay? More on that in a bit. The third group he likes to refer to as the Grays, and in Srinivasan's vision, it basically focuses on people like him, right? The Silicon Valley power players, those would be the Grays. So,
gee, I wonder if they'll get special privileges.
Let's see.
Let's find out.
So whereas the Reds and Blues are dominated by their political ideologies, the Grays are loyal to their tech companies. In Srinivasan's world, the Grays are identifiable because they all wear gray t-shirts. So this is big-brained adult thinking. I'm really excited about it.
By the way, in Silicon Valley, they think this guy's a genius.
Okay, but
okay, let's keep going.
He says that the gray shirts would be featured with the Bitcoin logo or Elon Musk's face. I'm not kidding, he said that.
Genius.
And if you see another gray on the street, you do the nod. You do the nod.
Like a lot of black folks do the nod, right? When they see each other, they just give a quick nod, right? So the Grays will do the same. You a corporate whore? Yes, so am I. Are you an Elon Musk fanboy who doesn't think for himself? Oh yeah, me too.
There's
not quite as cool as the black nod.
Can I just say something? Adult men talking about wearing matching shirts with other men's faces on it is not cool. It's just not.
It's the Grays?
The Grays.
Okay, yeah. I see. Okay. Anyways, yeah, guys, this gets worse and worse.
It does. So, look, so his vision then starts to get a little scary. So he states that the Grays would gain power by cozying up with the cops. For example, the Grays would fund these weekly police banquets to basically suck up to them and get special treatment from them. He says, quote, Grays should embrace the police, okay? All in on the police. What does that mean? That's, as I said, banquets. Okay, all right, as I said, banquets, that means every policeman's son, daughter, wife, cousin, sibling, whatever, should get a job at a tech company in security.
He's not wrong. That is how you buy off the cops.
Do people really like banquets?
Cops do, I think, yeah.
Really, guys, have higher standards, banquets suck.
Okay, you're obsessed with the banquets, but look, this is all gonna lead to the biggest point because I got really good news for this brother in a little bit. But overall, what he's saying is just bribe the cops.
Yeah.
We're the corporations, we have all the money, so just bribe them to serve only us.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just get to the punchline. I mean, you're gonna see it throughout. Hey brother, I got really good news for you. This system already exists. It's the one we live in. Okay. Look, you think corporations don't pay the cops extra? Do you know that in Wall Street, they have an underground bunker where bankers and cops coordinate who they're going to arrest during Occupy, that we found out during Occupy Wall Street. Because the bankers are like, arrest that guy who's protesting against us, against that guy. Why do the cops listen to the bankers? Because they give them money.
I remember right as Occupy Wall Street started in New York, Zuccotti Park, Chase Bank specifically made a massive donation to the NYPD. And I was like, I know where this is going, I know. Okay.
But I bet the cops will be honest and be like, no way, we're not gonna serve you.
Right. Now, once an officer joins the Grays, they get a special uniform. This guy loves uniforms. He should be a fashion designer.
Well, he does, to be fair to him, he does later talk about the Gray Pride Parade.
He does, we're gonna get to that. So once an officer joins the Grays, they get a special uniform designed by their tech overlords. The Grays will also donate heavily to police charities and merge the Gray and police social networks. Then in a show of force, they'll march through the city together. Now, when it comes to gay pride parades and all of that, here's what Srinivasan has to say. A huge win would be a Gray pride parade with 50,000 grays. That would start to say, whose streets? Our streets, Bitcoin parade. You have the drones flying overhead in formation. You have bubbling genetic experiments on beakers. You have the police at the gray pride parade. They're flying the Andreessen drones. I don't know what that is.
It's probably some company in Silicon Valley that they all circle, you know what to.
Even if
look at the Andreessen drones. Hey, Grace, look at the Andreessen drones.
That sound. Look,
I grab you, you grab him. Go ahead.
I want to be clear. Even if I were part of this culture, this is so dystopian. I would not want that. Like, who wants to be like?
But Anna, I got news for you too. That's our current state of affairs. What he's describing is the establishment. Okay, they have already bought off all of the cops and the power structure. Everything already does serve them. We live under corporate rule. The brother just doesn't realize it.
Look, I know you're right. You're definitely right. My perspective is a little skewed living in Los Angeles, where all the police were at UCLA over the last 2 nights. So I guess that's where they've been.
Well, except when the actual crime was happening.
Yeah, yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right. So look, frustrating.
Part of the thing he's frustrated about is that San Francisco kind of fell into chaos a little bit, right?
And I get that.
Yeah, we understand that. The idea is not a fascist takeover of San Francisco. I don't think that's the solution, right? Is it possible that the solution isn't let every person who's addicted to drugs lie around the kids' schools and throw around needles all over the place, and you can't institutionalize anyone no matter how severe their condition is, etc. Or we do a fascist takeover. How about something in the middle, a little bit more reasonable?
So he hates Democrats. So remember, he says there's the Reds, the Republicans, they're okay, they're allowed. But when it comes to Democrats, the blues, not in favor. Reds should be welcome there. And people should wear their tribal colors. No blue should be welcome there.
Then why would they wear their tribal colors if you're going to, totally ostracize and abuse the blues? Oh, okay, I'll put on a blue outfit. But by the way, this also would never lead to any violence. The blues would then go, oh, okay, of course, we'll be your inferior servants from now on, corporate overlords. Grays, we serve you.
Look, he's living in San Francisco, you're right. He's seeing the conditions there and he's super angry at Democrats. And I understand that. But you will be led astray if you're under the assumption that one political side is always right and the other political side is always wrong. I feel like I had that kind of thinking and it did lead me astray. So, I mean, this guy is already led astray by his own brain because he's literally like, he calls it ethnic cleansing. It's not an ethnicity, okay, which is why it's so hilarious. But he says the Grays will rename city streets after tech figures and erect public monuments to memorialize the alleged horrors of progressive democratic governance. Corporate logos and signs will fill the skyline to signify gray dominance of the city. And then he says, these are his own words. He uses the words ethnically cleanse, Srinivasan said at one point, summing up his idea for a city purged of blues. This, he says, will prevent blues from ethnically cleansing the Grays first. Deep.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're talking about ethnically cleansing blues, Democrats are generally more minorities. And that's a terrible thing to say. And then again, corporate logos and signs will fill the skyline. They already do. All this guy has to do is wake up and then he'd be like, oh my God, mission accomplished.
Yep.
He's like, the government doesn't listen to corporations enough. In which country? And which planet? Because right now, all they listen to is corporations. All right, look guys, this one guy being a wacko is not that big a deal if he's just a rando. But he's worked at some of the top firms and some of the biggest figures in Silicon Valley think he's an absolute genius. So Marc Andreessen is the founder of the VC firm Andreessen-Horowitz, which might be the most famous VC firm.
Yeah, he is.
That is not a little shop, that is gigantic, right? And Andreessen says, Balaji has the highest rate of output per minute of good new ideas of anybody I've ever met.
Is he?
Wow, Mark, you got to get out more, son. Okay, that's the best. That guy creates more good ideas than anybody you've ever met. No, guys, look, here's the thing. Is everybody in Silicon Valley rich? of the folks in the VC community, the startup community, yeah, almost all of them are unbelievably rich. And they have gotten themselves to believe the motto of the Greys, which is, if you're rich, that means you're a genius. That they all believe that.
Of course they believe that,
and
yeah.
So that's a thing that is already given to us by establishment media, because establishment media also serves the establishment. And so they want to hear, hey, if you're rich, that equals good, moral, wonderful, genius, etc. Right?
It's not just establishment media. American culture celebrates and admires financially successful individuals and entrepreneurs. That has been a thing in this country forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but the reality is, a lot of those guys were at the right place at the right time. I mean, back in the day, you could trip over something and be like, oh my God, rock.com. And then somebody's like, oh, here, I'll give you $500 million for rock.com. So there was all this unbelievable money, and it was getting thrown around, and everybody got rich, and then they all thought they were geniuses. But in reality, half of them are incredibly dumb. And they think they're geniuses. They're like, oh my God, what if corporations had their logos everywhere? And they're like, somebody's like, oh, that's such a good idea. Do you not see it? You don't see the logos everywhere? It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
No, this guy's not a genius. He sounds like a complete and utter dumbass that has no idea about the world around him.
So the Anduril, remember we mentioned Anduril drones. It's apparently a defense company founded by the guy who made the Oculus VR. So just to give you that background information.
Yeah, and then these, Palantir Technologies, which already works with the government. That's Peter Thiel's company. They're already totally embedded into national security, and in almost every decision the government makes, it's just this. I guess the real people who run the country didn't let him in on the secret. So ironically, he's not part of the Greys, he just doesn't know it. Because the Greys definitely exist. They actually run this country. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.